Hello and welcome. Alright, in the last episode, we were going ahead and doing some fiddling over there with the mining. And well, I have done a bunch of stuff over there to make it look prettier. Before we can go ahead and test that everything works properly, we need to store more ice. And while we're at it, we might as well store some hydrogen too. So as you can see, I brought over my orange color, always important, and I have run this pipe all the way out here, um, so that way I can go ahead and basically put storage out to the side. Um, I also did a little bit of work back here. Might as well show it off now. Here's the doors to our parking garage. And then when we come out, you can see residential, office, and hydrogen processing. So basically on this side, I'm going to just use this as a way to get to those three separate sub-buildings, if you will. And again, because the weather out here can suck, I'm going to go ahead and have corridors getting to and from the buildings. But let's go ahead and start with the important thing. Storage. So what I want to do here is I want to go ahead and have, so I could set up like I did at my last base with a tower that looks kind of like this. Um, but I think that for this base, I just want it to look a little bit different. And so for that, what I'm going to do is rather than having a tower of two, I'm going to go ahead and put 8 of these together. So basically, 4 little pillars and then build something around it. So I want to build like this. And then we are going to build over here. And like that. All right. All right. So the bottom layer has it going side to side. The top layer will have it coming back to back. So come on, line up. There we go. And this means that to get back here, basically what will happen is they'll come down over there, then down, and then here. So simple enough. And then I want to put this one down like this. All right. So now I have this big squat 8 cargo hold block, which more than doubles my cargo capacity. And then what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to armor clad it really quick. Um, Probably with a mixture of full and half slabs. Um, and just kind of make it look like, I guess, more like an igloo type thing. So let's go ahead and just grab a whole bunch of steel plates. And then I'm going to go ahead and grab my green. And how do I want to do this? You know what? Let's just start with a really simple box and weld it up and then see what we like. So I will be right back when I'm done with that. All right. I may have gotten a little carried away, and I just ended up welding the whole thing up. So yeah, that happened. But yeah. you can go ahead and see it's effectively just a large box. Looks like a little house, calling it the ice house, basically. And we've modified it a little bit to more or less fit in with the mining outpost base. Um, and we still have a little bit of the black stripes on this parking garage, but we haven't integrated these like little raised ridges into that space much. So I might need to go back and redo some of that. However, I might also just leave it as painted lines because I don't want to make it harder to get in and out of that. Now, the other thing that I need to do over here, now that I've got this all lined up, is I need to come out the side. It's going to be right here. Ow.
Inventory full. Inventory full.
And yeah, let's go ahead and just like toss a bunch of stuff in there. And we will go ahead and grab the conveyor and then grab a bunch of pipe. And then from here, let me grab my orange. We can go ahead and lay a bunch of pipe. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'll call that good enough. And then come up here. Grab that. And we also need to go ahead, while we're making stuff, and over here we need to set up our hydrogen storage. Now, if I come in here and just like lay a little conveyor down, and have it kind of enter the building right here. Now, the big question is, what do we want for hydrogen? So let's take a look at our options. It's oxygen, small oxygen. All right, so we've got this big ass hydrogen tank, which is a solid option. Small hydrogen tank, we're gonna struggle to store enough hydrogen with the small ones. And then there's always the industrial. You know what? I want to test something. What does this look like if I take this? Just chuck that stuff back in. And then alright, so if I were to do something like that, Ooh. Huh. I'd have to go back and rebuild all of that, but that's not the biggest problem. Because I could go ahead and put up a series of like 2 tall towers, but then it's really gonna be very similar to what I put at the mining outpost. I'm not entirely sure I want that. Because the other option that I could do, if I just come ahead and just bring some pipe over this way, is I could do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Just weld this up really quick. I know I don't have to. Is to go ahead and then I grab a hydrogen tank. Then put this on top. Did I run out of small steel tubes? Oh God. Huh. So I could do either something like this, I could do something like this, or I could just do another box with a bunch of hydrogen tanks inside. Not sure what's gonna be the best here. I think that if I just wanted it bare, this is probably the best looking. But once we start going ahead and incorporating stuff, I'm not too sure I like it that much. Whereas on the other hand, I could actually go ahead and like come like tee off of this and then have like a big flat pad that then just fills a bunch of these from the top. Because when the piping comes into the top of this, it looks really good. You know what? I think we're gonna go with that one. So I will keep this. I need to um I need to run something from this all the way to over there, so that way I don't end up complete making this a separate grid. And then lastly, I need to go back and get more small steel tubes because apparently I'm running out of those. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to go get started on that, and I will be back once I've got my pad kind of laid out and this connected. So, be back in a few. Alrighty, it is getting rather laid out, but I have gone ahead and made a modification here where I teed off of this, and that is coming into, well, it's connecting right there. That's what's currently connecting things up. I had been thinking about conveying through, but after laying the rest of the pad out, decided I'm going to convey up and over. And over here you see that I have these fun little things. I'm putting these conveyor tubes in various spots. And what I'm going for here is I'm going to go ahead and take, say, this hydrogen tank, and I'm going to place it underneath in each of these spots. So I'm going to have a total of 9 hydrogen tanks kind of under the surface, and there's going to be one more in the center. And as we look, you can see there's a gap 1 block wide between each of them. And then I am going to go ahead and put an industrial hydrogen tank on top of them. So in effect, this is going to give me 18 large hydrogen tanks for storing hydrogen. Which, if I need more than 18, yeah, I might just want to go straight to space. But anyways, so this is the plan. And then to connect all of this, the bottom or these bottom hydrogen tanks are only going to be connected via these connectors right here, which are then going to connect to the hydrogen tank above, and then I'm going to do a bunch of piping over the top to make it seem like I've got the pipe coming in over here, feeding up and over, and that's how everything is getting handled. Um, so we will see how that ends up working out. Do I need to? Yeah, so this is going to come up and it's going to be slightly offset. Maybe I should shift it 1 to the right. Ooh, have it come in right here and then just kind of like go across and tee off each spot. So much more work, but I talked myself into it. All right, so here's what's going to happen. I am going to go ahead and weld up this bottom now that you've seen it. Finish off building out this platform. Move this over, and then build up these tops, and I will show you, or I will bring you back for welding up the tops. So I'll be back in a few minutes. Alright, and it's still late at night. I know I'm playing individually, maybe I should just dive into creative and move this on. But you can see this is all finished up, and now I just need to go ahead and put down my top tanks and then connect everything up. So I go ahead and I put 1 here, 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, and then 9. Alright, and then this is what the pad is going to look like, and I will make sure to show you what it looks like once the sun comes up later. But for right now, at least, since this is a lot of running back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, I'm going to go ahead and weld this all up off camera again. So I will be back in just a few. Alrighty, everything is all welded up. Got a nice pack of 9 sitting up here, another 9 hidden, and then I adjusted this over, and now we can go ahead and do the piping. So I figured I'd have you guys along for this portion. Let's go ahead and just raise the pipe up, and then I want to come on over here, and I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we can come on in here and basically just pipe this over like this. And then on this side, pipe it like this. Over here, we can come over like that. And then I need to grab myself these T-junctions to place on top of these. And then on this side, I can place the T. Here, let me just finish this up. And of course here, that means that we need to place the cross. And we need a cross. Come on, come on. There we go. Alright, so this is what I'm thinking about for doing my piping. Overall, it gives a very nice industrial feel, especially with kind of the orange. And there's a little bit of spacing there that's more or less irrelevant, but it feels like each one of these is more of an independent thing. See, so anything else that I would do? Ooh. Huh. So, I just had a thought, and that's how amusing would it be to change these to T's and these to crosses, and then to put the exhaust caps on. Let me find the exhaust somewhere in here. Dun, 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 dun. Where are you? Come on. Here we go. So the exhaust pipes, I could go ahead and stick up. You know what? I cannot resist. Ah! Dropping myself. I come here and then do it like this. You just weld that up really quick. Oh, that sits pretty good on top. Or I can just put the little exhaust caps on. Alright, so I put that on. Let's go ahead and see what sort of funny effects it can have. Where did I put an inset light? Huh? Oh, that's over there. Okay. Anyways, enough confusing myself. I don't need to worry about these, so I can just... no, I need them in the inventory, but I don't need to show them. Hydrogen tank. Alright, that's a new one. The cat jumping on top of the computer case was able to knock my Bluetooth headset off. I'm not entirely sure how that worked either. Alright, the industrial things. I do not need to show them in the inventory string. I don't need to show them in toolbar config. I can't auto refill bottles. Yeah, I'll put it in. And I will keep just like one visible in the terminal. And then, so that's just a hydrogen tank. All right, the exhaust cap. So what can we put on this? We can do various smokes. I don't think that this makes sense for fire, but seriously, Cat? One of these days you're gonna like knock my computer's power out. While I'm recording, naturally. Um, let's do small white smoke. See how that looks. Alright, totally worth it. I'm doing it.
Energy low.
Yeah, I get it. Alright. And then we can come back to T. Alright. Come on. There we go. Alright. Place all of that. Alright. And then I will come on over here, recharge, and then we can start welding things up. And we wait. Maybe I'll replace that with like an inset reef or a refill station. Alright, so weld 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Alright, 1, 2, 3. Wait, am I out of motors? Oh boy. Well, I guess I will be flying back to pick up a bunch more motors. Alrighty, well, I will be back in a few. Alright, I am on my way back with my load of motors. Just figured that it'd be kind of cool to see the base from up top. And then we can also go ahead and see how well the Prospector maneuvers when it isn't loaded to the brim. So I want to swing around like this. And I have my bottom camera, which I just line up. I know that that's not like a refinery, but if you think about it, it's probably like liquid hydrogen in there. And it makes sense that that's cold, so maybe it's just like condensate wafting off of all of the hydrogen things. Oh, yeah. I just feather the throttle on the way down so that way I don't accidentally go too fast. But in general, if I aim for, 30 to 50 meters per second, I should be able to recover quite quickly. And then the inset lights are perfect because I can just line up the camera kind of in the center of them. As long as I do that, there we go. And now I am all locked in. Perfect. Alrighty. So now I can come on over here. And then I can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then grab a bunch of that. There we go. Alright, so let me grab that, and then a bunch more. Alright. Alright, so almost done piping all this up. Perfect. And now let's come on over here again and hit all those exhaust caps. Oh, come on. You can't choose multiple of them at once? So, well, that's irritating. So you have to go through every single one of them and choose the effect that you want individually. You can't just do the whole batch at once. Okay, well, that's mildly annoying. Alright, but now, just kind of a smoky effect going on from all of them. That's kind of cool. So now that I've done rearranging my piping, I can go ahead and disconnect these. So that does mean, however, that the only thing that is connecting both of these is this. So don't break it. Yeah, that's totally not going to come back and bite me at some point, is it? Oh well, if I break it over there, then I can just kind of merge block these two together and then fix that. You know what? Let me just make it not an issue by just keeping this. I'll just keep this attached until I'm done building stuff. And if I forget, no big deal. But now if I decide that I want to tee off for like the residential section, I'm not going to suddenly lose access to all this. Alright. Let's go ahead and grab my black. Alrighty, so all of my storage is now complete. So now, the main event. let's come back and check out last episode's party. Yeah. Refill really quick before I show you the changes. Alright, so the big thing is I now have this all lit up and glorious. I will go over that in just a minute, but first, as you can see, I did a little bit of rearranging of stuff. I've started putting up some windows. I have some air vents waiting for me to go ahead and seal this area off, and just put some glass up the sides. So this is more or less ready for me to start sealing things off later. And of course, lighting. But now let's come back and talk about this. So, in the last episode, I went ahead and put a hinge head right here, and then realized that I want, to see what's going on, so I want glass here. So that meant moving this. So I moved the hinge head. That also meant that I had to move all of the timers. That was fun. Totally. And then redo all of them. On top of that, while I was doing all that, I decided to go ahead and make this whole board. So what is going on here? If you remember, when we come on in here, I can come up and just hit timer, and then show hidden. So I have 20 steps going through of drill extensions. So when I hit the start button here, it's going to go ahead and it's going to start rotating and start the drills. Once the drill head completes a full rotation, that triggers the first timer, and repeat, trigger the second timer, and it's just going to step down every time. Ad nauseum. Once we have gone ahead and stepped down, then it's going to hit the bottom, drill that out, and then it's going to trigger to reset everything. Now, the way that you can pull this off if you want to try and do something similar is I have a event controller, and it's called Rotation Complete. So this is tied to that rotor, and then all it is doing is when it triggers, it's calling the timer block next step. And then it's timer blocks all the way down. Alright, so next step is going to go ahead, and it's going to come in, and it tries to trigger max done, extension 20. That is wrong. I'm so glad I checked this. 19. Trigger now. Okay. So 19, 20, 19, 18, blah, 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 blah. It keeps going through for page 1, page 2, page 3. So it is going through every single one of those and trying to trigger it. However, most of them are off. So when I come back in here and check my timer block, we can see what's going to happen. So timer block 1 is going to come in. It's going to set and move pistons. It's going to trigger my activity on timer, which basically I just have going through and running this rotating light. And then it's going to go ahead and turn the light panel to green. Next, it's going to turn timer block 2 on and turn itself off. And that's what every single one of those is doing. Oh, great, sun came out. So, let's see what happens. Ah! Or just fall to my doom, that works too. There. So we can see rotating on the left, and then we can see the block board on the right. And we're just going to wait for a little bit. and it will complete its rotation shortly. And wait. All right, and you can see the light spinning, and that one lit up. And then the light spinning also triggers another timer, so it only spins for like 3 seconds or something like that, though you can always adjust that. And then we go down to the next step and repeat. So we'll just wait and see the next step. There we go. And you can see over here that the first one stays green. So this is going to fill up all these light panels in green. First row and then second row. This one is going to be triggering for extending out, and I will go ahead and test that live in just a few minutes. So let's go ahead and pause, and I'm going to wait for this to continue and come back when it's closer to done, and then we will test together the extending out. So I'll be right back. All right, we have 6 more rotations to complete. You can see that you can't really see that down there, but it's all lit up on the board. Coming down here, you can see we are about to start touching the stone again. And one of the things that I will note, if I come in here really quick, is I did go ahead and stick in a pair of refineries down here with speed modules on top. So that these refineries are basically only here to burn through stone. Because I'm not sure if this about 20 meters or so of depth is consistent across the entire ice lake or not. But, now I won't have to worry about carting boatloads of stone back to the mining outpost to handle. Let's see here if I. Put that back. There we go. All right, and we have 2 spots left. So we are 27 meters down, and you can see it is chewing through the stone now. And if I kind of back up, hopefully no puppy dogs come to attack me while I'm doing this. Otherwise, I'm in for a lovely little jump scare. Okay, lowering. I will also note here that I increased the speed from 1 to 2. I might actually keep that permanent. And basically, at the speed of 1, it completes a full rotation every minute. 2 is going to be 2 rotations a minute, which is nice. It's not consistent with the speed for like piston usage, so that's fun. All right, we are about to. Okay, we are fully extended. And now what should happen is we should go ahead and once we complete this rotation, we should reset all the way back to our starting spot. There we go. And you can see the board went red. Everything's picking back up. And this is all lifting out. Alrighty. So once this is all back in position, we can go ahead and trigger the next thing. So one of the things that I found is that I had to go ahead and move the projector onto this if I wanted to attach to this. Because I have the projector like sitting right there, and then that's going to be looking or projecting it up, but it's not actually attaching. The projector has to be on that in order to do this. Now, this means that as it is right now, this thing will go ahead and just kind of move out with it and eventually get out of projector range, but I will also need to go in and adjust where the projection is before extending it. For right now, that's acceptable for me, but if I wanted this to basically like go all the way across the lake without me needing to mess with things, just hit the button when I want it to happen, I would need to get the projector onto here. How could I do that? Merge blocks! Yay, so much fun. But if I were to change this connector bit out for the 6-way, I could put a block on the side and a merge block up, and then put a merge block there, and then because it's all one grid, then it will go ahead and function. Then I would need to add in the merge block release as part of the extension process. Speaking of which, let's talk through that extension process. So I have 4 timers, which is going to fill up these lights as it goes. I come on in here. So the first timer is going to be extend drills. This is called trigger now by button number 4. So what does it do? Well, first things first is we go ahead and we call the manual reset. So that way it will make sure that it gets back into this position if it's not already. Second, it's going to turn off the reset block so that way you can't reset it. It's going to, actually I need to change that from reset to the manual reset. There we go. Then it's going to turn off the start drills and the stop drills buttons. So basically this is all 3 of these buttons are going to be turned off. You can't do anything. I should also check that it turns that button off. Anyways. Then it's going to turn the projector on. It's going to turn the welders on. And we are going to turn on the activity light. So this little activity light is going to be buzzing the whole time that the welders are on. And then we're going to hit the weld wait. So when we come into the weld wait, I have it waiting for a minute. That may be too long, but I haven't tested it yet, so we'll adjust as we see fit. So I also want to go ahead and turn that off in here. So weld wait is going to be triggered after this is all done welding. It is going to go ahead and lock the piston connection. It's going to unlock this top connection over here, turn off the welders, and then it's going to set and move the piston a full 10 meters. Then it's going to call the timer block extend wait, and we're also going to go ahead and turn off my blinky lights. Alright, we're going to come on now to extend wait. 30 seconds, this is more than enough. I can probably get away with like 10 seconds or something like that, but we'll just leave it at 30. So extend wait is going to go ahead and it's going to lock this top piston. Then it is going to unlock lock the top connector, unlock the connector on the piston, retract the piston, and then call retract weight. Finally, retract weight, which I've got a 20-second timer for, is going to go ahead and lock this bottom piston connector, and then it's going to turn on the buttons for start drills, stop drills, manual reset, and then it's going to trigger the manual reset just to, make sure that everything goes back to where it was. That last part hopefully doesn't matter, but we'll see. Now, let's test this live. I have not tested this even once, so hopefully this doesn't blow up on me. Oh, it welded it. Now we wait. Oh shoot, I forgot to go ahead and change my lovely little light panels. Timer. Let's go ahead and extend drills. Come on into here. Light. Set color to green. Confirm. Okay, we're not doing the colors. Oh no. Oh no. Please, please go out. Please go out. Please go out. Please go out. There. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Ooh. All right. I'm back. That was almost very bad. Are you going to connect? All right. Had to pause again because the kittens managed to disconnect my wireless headset again. I I don't know how this is possible. All right. Let's go ahead. Come on in here. Find my piston connector. Ah! If I push it out slightly, will it connect? Square piston out. Let me set the maximum distance to be 0.1. Reverse. Like seriously? All right. Piston connector. Lock. Reverse. Unlock. Lock. Thank you. Okay. Alright, so what we've learned so far is that this extension works, but I might need to fiddle with that. I definitely had to remove that block, otherwise it would have clanged out and not gotten into position. Um, I might also need to look at using this style connector so that way it can slip under easier. Um, okay, well, it's a learning process. Now let's go ahead and check my inventories really quick. So I've got a bunch of stone, industrial. Also, I will note that underneath here I stuck 5 conveyor sorters in that are just pushing any and all ore back out of the drills. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right, 6.5. 6. So I've got 7 empty. All right. Also, let me come on in here to the timer for start drills, setup actions. I want to set velocity to 2. All right. Moment of truth. I extended it out. Does it work? Now let's come back here so we can see both. There we go. It went down. All right, if it triggers the second one, I'm going to go ahead and call that a victory. Why is that red? That concerns me. Oh, let's turn you off. And set you guys to auto. I just don't. Okay. I guess between recharging my ship and trying to run the stone refineries with the full speed modules, uh, yeah, I just really don't want to run out of power while I'm doing this. All right. Well, let me turn my lights on. And all right, so we can see that when it pushes out, it's gonna basically have the center at the edge of the hole. So I'm effectively going to be digging a hole that's going progressively further and further out. Any issues? And it does manage to go ahead and scrape that all down, so that's good. All right. Well, I think that I can go ahead and call this a success. Um, no reason for you to sit here and watch drills spin. Please don't make me regret calling it a success already. I, I, no. Just please don't. Alright, velocity of 2 might be too much. Our drills, a set of actions. That velocity 1, confirm, and then rotor. That velocity to 1. Alright, with it going slower, does it clang as much? Yeah, I gotta keep that velocity at 1. Alright. There we go. Before that blows something up of mine. Alright, so learning experience. Let's check my industrial. Alright, so I've got this. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 still empty. Alright. Let's go ahead, call this a success before it explodes, and call the episode there. Oh, that is just way too exciting. Just having that board light up like that. Alright, and next episode we will come back and, I can't play with this anymore until I can empty that cargo, which means that I need to go ahead and set up my hydrogen processing facility. Oh, that gets me every time. Alright, so we'll set up the hydrogen processing facility next time, and then possibly also look at kind of finishing this, so that way it's going to be a fully enclosed space. From my experience here, one of the top things I'm going to need is a door to run out to try and check on things. But other than that, yeah, we should be good. So if you watched all the way in, thank you very much, and I will see you in the next one.